you shoot some people, and some people were like, if you don't shoot me, I won't be favor and goodwill.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Now should be prepared to have a lot of.
That's a very good one. Maybe then I would rather want to commercialize it.
No, at least not for today. This is the first day of the.
Because if I don't do that, there will be a lot of pressure, and when people identify,
but don't make it too expensive. Don't make it too expensive. Let it be affordable.
Leave that to me.
Maybe just make today just to test run how it's.
No. You know how
Mario is in trouble. Many people will ask for handshake today.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think many of them will be able to identify me.
Oh, okay. Good for you. But for those who have changed,
you've changed. For bio on the Facebook.
Oh my God!
So the moment they type bio, it definitely the name and the picture will pop up.
So
it will pop up.
That's a clue.
That's
a clue.
It's all right. When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Welcome to the discussion segment of the program Morning Fight. This is OGBC on 90.5 FM. And so we move to the headlines. So many of them in the national journalism interesting stories. Let's start with something to we write those in way.
Yeah, the federal government has said that the introduction of the sale of crude oil in Naira was a strategic move to enhance operational efficiency of local refineries by reducing foreign exchange risks and transaction costs. The president made this known on Tuesday while officially the 8th edition of the International Energy Summit, NIES 2025 opened in Abuja. So, should we be cautiously optimistic, or is there really light at the end of the tunnel with this in Nigerian economy?
Well, I would say, good morning, listeners. Good morning, Nigeria. I am going to say that it is of the two ways that you have read. One, we should be cautious, cautiously waiting and observing and following up. If we are going to really get what Mr. President said the game will be. And I'm sure that it's something that attracts a lot of interest, and I'm sure that Nigerians will want to look out for it. How do I mean? This issue of energy had been on, I said hard, had been on for quite a while, and you see, oil is the mainstay of the economy, we all know. Of course, government is saying that it's trying some other areas to encourage to discourage less dependence on oil, kind of trying to ensure that we move away from the mono economy that we are running. It is good. It will make the local refineries to be able to at least thrive, because when you look at the issue of the forex, it takes a lot of things, and when eventually the product is purchased, you have to also factor it. No businessman is in business because he wants to help anybody. There is no business that is philanthropic in nature. Any business, like we were taught in elementary economics, is set out to make profits. And so with that, when they must have spent a lot of money or resources on forex, it is expected that the final consumer will bear the brunt. So this time around, if they are buying with Naira, yes, fine. But again, is it not going to put pressure on the Naira itself to the extent that the supply will also be affected? But notwithstanding that, I think it's a very good move that we have that, so that we now begin to end product. Is it going to bring down the price of the product? Or if it doesn't, then it means you go back to the drawing board to really look at it and say, see, this is one of those things that you promised this policy will bring about, and it's not bringing it about. Is it going to be, are we going to ask for your review? That is that. The pressure on the forex of the thing will also go down, and it will be, the economy will be better off for it. it's also going to have some kind of multiplier effect, not only on the naira, but on the economy generally. You see, in terms of bringing out policies and what have you, we are not bereft of those ideas. The successive Nigerian governments will do that very, very well, fantastically well. But when it comes to the level of implementation, the civil service syndrome, the madness, the bureaucracy now comes in, and a lot of delay comes in. A lot of undertones may also be introduced. So it's not just we must sound a note of caution here that Mr. President should ensure that he has a lot of things up his sleeves. So what he needs to do is to ensure that there is someone. Fortunately, there is a Minister of State for Petroleum. So then there should be a kind of put a tab on it and ensure that there must be a time limit within which that thing should come into materialize. Except we do that, I'm afraid we have to come back here and say yes, the policy was introduced, but the implementation has been another thing.
Okay, thank you, Bayo. If you just joined us, Bayo Ogundimo is our guest this morning, doing the analysis together on some of the stories in the national dailies. It was this edition of Morning Flight. One of the stories that have been, one of the statements that have been made popular recently is, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not scared of you," from the upper chamber, Now, the Nigerian Tribune reported that story this morning, or let's say follow-up to it. Suspension looms as Senate probes Senator Natasha Zappast. The Senate on Tuesday directed its Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions to investigate what it called disorderly conduct of Senator Natasha on the floor of the House last week, asking the panel to turn in a report within 3 weeks. The Senate, acting on a matter of privilege brought to the floor by its spokesperson, Senator Yemi Adaramudu, said Senator Akpotiuduaghan breached the rules of procedure, tarnishing the image of the Legislative House in the process. Now, as another follow-up to that same story, the senator is now suing the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for alleged defamation. This followed a drama that ensued in the Senate, which saw Akpoti-Oduaghan lamenting that the new sitting arrangements in the chambers was unfavorable to her. The Guardian has the headline, "Alleged defamation, Senator Natasha Akpabio demands 103 billion naira damages." Now, the senator in question in the eye of the storm right now. What happened? Was it necessary? Could it have been avoided? Did she have the right to come out the way she did? Could she have done better? Is it true that she has indeed put the house into disrepute and tarnishing the image of the house by what she did? Or what she did wasn't too bad, expressing herself the way she felt? What's your opinion, sir?
Well, my opinion is that it will be a divergent one. The Senate has its procedures. It has rules that must be followed by members of the hallowed chamber, so to say. I think there is more to it than meets the eye. I watched the clip from the start to the end, even when fellow senators came around to actually ask her to take it easy. The senator will not have anything of such, and throughout she was ranting, she was shouting, she was even pointing to the Senate president where he was seated. And I want to say that I like the maturity displayed by the other senators that day, and especially the chief whip, because the Senate president actually requested that the chief whip should go and lead her out of the chamber. Other senators rose, and they were like trying to placate her to see reason. But even in spite of all of that, the woman would not have anything of such. She was was bitter. She was saying a lot of things, and she was saying that she was not going to accept what the Senate president was trying to do to her, that the Senate president was trying to ridicule her and all of that. And the question I asked myself internally then was, if if there was a rearrangement in the House or in the Senate, in the chamber, and you were asked to move to a different seat. One, let's look at it. These are the questions that we should ask as Nigerians. The Senate president should be asked why. I don't know what the procedures are in the Senate, but Senate definitely must have rules. There must be a reason for the readjustment of the seats.
It was because Senator Ned Nwoko, he decamped from to the other,
Okay.
from PDP to APC.
APC.
So that reduced the section of the minority in the House and from one party to the other. So the seats needed to be arranged. And for them, because they said one of the implications is if she does not follow that seat, she might not be recognized where she is already seated. That she
Yes,
doesn't
because
want to
I mean, yes, I had the issue of she may not be recognized. There was a spokesman of the Senate that came out to kind of give some explanations, which sincerely I really didn't follow up. I mean, because of pressure of work. But be that as it may, even at that, one will expect. You see, these people are expected to be very, very honorable in everything they do, especially when it comes to their public conduct. And the woman was, I don't know, was so fornivorous that day. You could see the veins in her neck coming up and all of that. And I must give it to the Senate president. And I think it was unlike him. You know, Senator Fabio just sat in his seat there and watched the same plate itself out and all of that. We cannot stop the Senate from carrying out any punishment it deems fit. When you are coming to such a very honorable assembly, there are rules which you must have been provided with. There are rules of engagement, so to say, and you must be quite aware of the fact that when it comes to that, your conduct is also very, very important. The case is in court. I read it. She has sued the Senate president over 100 billion naira, and I said, well, 100 billion naira for what? The Senate president. I mean, did she do anything? I mean, did he do anything beyond the fact that the seat was changed? And along the line, this era of social media, we have to be very, very careful. And the next thing I saw on Facebook was a picture of the Senate president and the senator in question, where they were seated near each other in a very, very jovial and relaxed atmosphere, chatting away and all of that. And the question the the person that brought that in to the fore was when did the situation change? They were said to be very close. The person was when the going was good. The person was trying to suggest something that he alone will come out to say that, I mean, maybe all of that. So I thought that if it was just changing of seats and all of that, it shouldn't be all that serious. I don't know if for Nigerians who watch the clip, I think the majority will agree with me that there will be more to it than meets the eye. Now she has gone to court, and we will need the experts to look at this very well. The Senate has her procedures, it has her rules which must be followed. She's in court to seek for a compensation for libel and all of that. Well, I think the Senate will go ahead to look at the issue because in her suit, I don't think she's seeking a relief that the Senate should not put her on her toes. She has to come and explain why she did what she did. So pari passu, the Senate will go ahead to investigate the matter. The committee on ethics that was asked to do it, the committee will come out with its report, and your guess is as good as mine that definitely there will be punishments, and at the end of the day, I think they will both be in the court. The issue of defamation and all of that, the Senate president will have to defend that through his lawyers. But by and large, I think it was an unfortunate thing that shouldn't have escalated to the level that it did. But Nigerians now. At the end of the day, especially our politicians, at the end of the day, the whole thing will be settled. They will pat each other on their backs. They will smile over it, and may even have dinner at the end of it all. So I would say, as Nigerians, make we sit down the look. Let's watch how it goes. The court proceedings will go on, except maybe if there are pressures on her to go and withdraw. But from the way I saw the woman that day, I'm not really sure that
the pair have had history. They've had history. The issue of nightclub comments before. Then, according to some people in some quarters, that she was just trying to she was ruled out of order when she was trying to read a portion of the house rule as well, which gave her the opportunity to say one thing or the other, but she was ruled out of order. And then maybe
the way we look at it is this: if you are at a meeting and the meeting is presided over by someone you call the chairman, and the person is saying what you want to say, I'm not going to allow you to do that. Maybe you said that for another time. So what do you do as a senator? I mean, we don't even need to be senators before we respect the rule. For every meeting, there are rules. You have somebody. The issue of decorum should be there, and she should also. I think it's happening for too many times in the Senate. This Senate, I want to see, it's not presenting its way in a very yes. There are a lot of infractions and all of that. It's not presenting itself in a noble way. There are too many infractions. There are too many infighting and all of that. And in what way are they different from those in the garages that will fight each other? So let's see how it goes. The court proceeding will go on, but I'm sure the Senate will go ahead to do what it needed to do on the issue. Relationship yẹn go sour.
Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé nígbà tí in fact from mi ò mọ̀ pé àtẹ̀tí mú kínní so mo wá wo story Tinubu yẹn somebody bọ́ wá ní a good story pé we can kick start. Sínú lẹ́gbà.
Ẹ̀dọ́ rí pé ṣe la tún appraise government ni. I'm always very very conscious of that.
Kínní náà akọ̀tí ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ Akpabio also has his own. The lady nígbà tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé kéèyàn ti ní bias kan ó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ má like me tẹ́lẹ̀ check it when so the moment they were talking about pé kínní kan number one Natasha has always been at loggerheads no indirectly or directly with Akpabio. Ọ̀rọ̀ nice club yẹn kò tí ì tán lẹ̀ ní pé senator this not a nice club yẹn ṣé wọn pé ṣe the man after nígbà tí pressure pọ̀ nígbà táwọn èèyàn wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí náà wú àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan nípa Akpabio. That was when he now came out to apologize to the lady. He was sorry about that comment. Nice club breaking.
Shouldn't they present
for a senator to be walked out? That's the please walk her, take her out of the Senate.
Well, if she does something that is against the rule,
she's a member of the House,
and she's bound by the rules of the House. She can be walked out. She can. Equity
Because she was constituting nuisance.
I mean, yes, it was a real news. I deliberately knew what nuisance is because we are here. I don't know about it anymore. This is Daniel. This is Daniel. This is Yeye Funke Daniel. This is Daniel. This is Amosu. Yeah. Daniel came out. This is Yeye Funke Daniel. This is Daniel. And this is Amosu. And Daniel came to say he would donate 2.5 million to our ongoing project in the church. And I'm also came out to say, no. My friend cannot say he's going to give us. Do you realize I'm from this is my church? No, he will give us 5 million naira. And I will drop 10 million naira.
Okay, what's up with Daniel co-op specify?
Daniel, I'm sorry. So why do we die? Why do we kill ourselves because of them?
You don't have meeting point.
On a meeting point.
Oh,
Benny.
No. They are not with him. They are not with him.
Check out the Southeast. Why I say? Also go by around. Okay, morning flight on your station of GBC 9.5 FM. We want to quickly go to this related issue this lovely morning. But before that, this language that also go, it is okay. But please forgive us, you understand. So the Southeast Caucus of the House of Representatives has called on the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC to prosecute producers and sellers of fake and substandard drugs, describing them as merchants of death. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the leader of the caucus, Igariwe Udoma Anwo, PDP Ebonyi State, condemns the activities of counterfeit drug dealers, stating that they pose a serious danger to public health and amounts to economic sabotage. The Nation is actually covering that story. It has the headline of that story, and it was with this headline: prosecute illegal drug dealers. Reopen Onitsha market. Southeast Caucus tells NAFDAC. So it is okay. Forgive those people who are not part of them. Let their shops be open. So it's not be like one part of these people and you are actually sanctioning everybody.
Yes, in all of it, I want to also think that the market should be reopened. But on the other hand, I am in full support of the fact that engage in that strategy. In fact, if there is anything stiffer than what is being suggested, I am going to support it. See, the issue of fake drug and all of that. A notable public figure in Ogun State died because of the use of a fake drug. I'm not going to mention the name on there, but those listening will know the person that I'm talking about. It's a public figure, and the names made headlines then. I don't know what kind of money that some of us are looking for, to the extent that human lives, it doesn't mean anything to us any longer. For how long are we going to have this? And you look at it, they'll tell you it is business. Business to kill people, business to maim people, business to make some people permanently disabled for the rest of their lives. And you make such money and you go and marry with it. You use such money, utilize such money to raise your children and all of that. For heaven's sake, that is blood money. That's the way I will look at it. It is blood money to the extent that I don't know how some will derive some kind of joy doing engaging in acts that will bring danger or that will endanger the lives of others. So You see, except something drastic is done, these people are not ready to let go. It's like talking also about piracy. Debo, I will sit down to write books. I will sit down to compose songs, and somebody will pick the my my intellectual property, produce it, and start selling. And that's why you see that the issue of research is another thing entirely now, because these people are not protected. Go to Alaba market. If you don't just go and say you want to make an album, and you go for maybe a pre whatever, and the thing is a bank. Forget it. You cannot make your money again. There was a time I had the opportunity. Baba Ebenezer Obi, I like his songs, and I sing it with gusto. I saw that there's hardly any of the songs that I will not be able to sing. And I was with him that day. I was still the registrar of DS at the Adeyinka City Polytechnic. We were trying a collaboration day. We went to have a meeting with him. And when we were there waiting for him, I was singing one of his songs. And when he came in, he said, Bayo, what do you know, Cohen? You are even singing it the way. I said, yes, sir, I love your songs, and I've been following you since I was younger and all of that. And he said, but wait, that song I did for Oyema is not sold in the market. How did you have access to it? And I bought it at Omida. Said, Daddy, you don't know that indirectly you are feeding a lot of souls. Because a lot of people pirate this innocently. I went to that place that day and listened to the music, and I was thrilled. I loved it, and I bought it. But Baba told me that he did that thing for Oyema.
It was never released.
It was never sold out. That when he packaged it, it was when Oyema's dad died that they both leave the machine, and the man and Oyema insisted that Baba, you be the one to come and play, because when we were younger, our daddy used to play your songs, your music, and all of that. These are some of the things. Okay, look at Baba Obi. Thank God for his life. Were he to be a struggling musician, do you think he's going to make it? We are killing a lot of people in this country who will come out, who ordinarily will come out with new things and all of that. Somebody will sit down for years to bring out a book. The moment that book hits market and is a bang or what, some people are somewhere there. And when you go to the market, they are with Macmillan, and each time you and each time you will come back home to say, Bayo, see, these people are killing those of us who are in this business. And he will bring the pirated copy, he will bring the normal one that Macmillan published. But from the printing, you see the difference. If you have those who know it and all of that. This is killing those people. So now going to drugs, something that somebody will go to the hospital to complain of an ailment. The doctor will prescribe, the person will buy the drug
and ingest
it, and the next thing is the person is gone. So I think no, there's no punishment that will be too much for. If it is death penalty, I support it. So be it. Because how do we curb it? Some people will say, if you do that, you are not. How are you sure that you are going to resolve the issue? But let's come up with. It's not something that is restricted to a group of people now. Let's come up with suggestions on how government. This thing has been on for quite a long time, and it seems that we are not getting a solution to it. So if it is death penalty, fine. Onisha market, yes, let the government involved or the agency, NAFDAC and all of that, let it sit down, look at it, put it side by side, and in the best interest of the people and the economy, maybe we say yes, let it be opened.
Okay, let's on the phone lines this morning for our esteemed listeners to be part of this conversation this of the morning. 0803-437-9453. 0803-437-9453 and 0815-032-0226. Hello,
Hello, good morning to three beautiful gentlemen in the studio.
Good
So
morning.
gentlemen are beautiful, Roti.
Good
Good morning, my darling
Mommy,
Aburo.
that your favor handshake, they must pay you. They must pay you. Pay you.
Don't mind Debo and
Like
don't mind Debo and Tope. Well, in any case, if they pay you, can be sure that they are my friends. They also you are not my boys, you are my friends. Good morning.
Charge that person.
Okay, I don't worry.
Natasha, I've been watching her antecedent in her constituency.
Okay.
What happened at the Senate that day? You know what happened after the convention of Babangida? That people are digging what has happened in June 12.
Yes.
Some people went and dug what he did to Sarakio when he was just a member. If I can find it on my phone, I'll send it to you, mommy.
Okay.
So he did the same thing to Saraki as the Senate president. They escalated to this level, or maybe he was punished. So we don't know. So in fact, they will still sentence out of court. So it's something that's happening in Nigeria. 100 billion. I marvel when I hear that. Then, mommy, I support you. Death sentence for those illegal, those fake drugs. Just unfortunate that you said we lost a
notable public figure in Ogun State.
In Ogun State because of fake drugs.
Yes.
In fact,
a notable one at that.
I understand now, but the fact remains that see our drinks now, all the soft drinks, wine, everything. They should reopen the market. See, respect female gender. When Dora was there, that's when we heard this kind of thing. Now, a female is a dark teacher now, and she's doing wonders.
I agree with you.
So,
but what happened to Dora Akuyili at the end of the day?
She was doing by the grace of God. They will not put her life inside her life will not be in their hand though.
I join you in praying that prayer too. I mean, I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So sad that we lost that wonderful woman.
It is. Thank you.
So rest in peace.
Amen.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. 0803-437-9453 and 0815-032-0226. The numbers to call to be part of the program this morning. While we are waiting to call, let's hit another story. This is a story on a comment made by former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, attributing the shortcomings of political actors to the behavior of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and judiciary. Dr. Jonathan made the observation on Tuesday in Abuja at a reflection conference on democratic elections in West Africa. And the headline is simply INEC judiciary aiding misbehavior of politicians.
What about the executive? Let me sing this very short song in Yoruba. You please pardon me. Gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́ ń bẹ, gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́ ń bẹ, bí Nàìjíríà ṣe wà yìí, gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́. I will translate it to mean we are all involved in the madness that is happening in Nigeria now. You see, yes, I respect the former president Goodluck Jonathan. I respect him so much, a very sweet gentleman. But you see, judiciary will make pronouncements. The executive arm that will be expected to, at least carry out such a thing, will not do that. Recently, the CJN was hitting hard. Mama was hitting hard on the IGP, and I'm sure the majority of us have read that. And she wasn't happy at all. You see, a lot of things happen in this country. We just do things without recourse to whatever. INEC, in what way is INEC doing that? If INEC allows or is involved in any kind of electoral malpractice, and the person that feels aggrieved go to court. The court has always been making pronouncements, and it is just important. You know, the executive arm of government is the one that at least executes, that ensure that whatever is coming from the judiciary or even the legislative arm are brought to the fore, are implemented. So all of them are involved. We cannot say that the judiciary is entirely free. We cannot say that INEC is entirely free. There are always infractions. There are always sharp practices and all of that. I think the most important thing is for us as Nigerians to say, look, we want Nigeria to be okay, and we change our mindset. Except we do that, nobody will come. Not even God will drop from heaven to come and do that for us. So former President Goodluck Jonathan, I think should also talk to the politicians to play the role, the game by the rules,
and put our house in order.
Let us put our house in order. It is important.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Elder.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I don't know who the partner is.
Debo.
Adeyinka is here too.
Debo, Adeyinka,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Let me quickly comment on the issue of the shameful act in setting between the Senate President and that woman senator. I think generally, one of the problems is that I want to try to approach one position. See, the woman that is likely is more petrol than the program. So I don't like it. I really need to think the way that was likely. I don't know what big deal from industry or whatever. I think that resolve very quickly. I'm not sure that they're taking it too far. And it's a question of echo conflict. That's where I see. When I watch the little thing that I watched about on video, I read that one where that happens like that, and it was very venomous. Well, I hope we do to resolve the issue, but it's a simple show from senior citizens. The letter is supposed to be senior citizens.
Yes. Yeah.
The very bad show. I think I should remember the law. Well, we're going to court to sue for something to do just because of leadership. To me, it's ridiculous. Well, very quickly about this drug issue, marketing. I think I agree with people that anything that is done that takes away the life of another person. The punishment should be equal. Action and reaction should be equal and opposite. That person, the people involved, should be properly dealt with. I believe that is the right thing. That not be whatever has done something so truly that we need to block it. I'm sorry, I'm not this one is going to be short. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sincerely, Elder.
Appreciate it. Well, our time is fast spent. A big thank you to Bayo Gundimo this morning for coming around and helping us thrash some of these issues reported in the national daily. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so much thankful to you for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
All right, so go and encourage your colleague. Okay. And of course, Shola Onede is Adeyinka. Please have a nice day.
My name is Temitope Babalola. Please do have a beautiful midweek. We love and appreciate you.
Thank you.